Hey, I'm Ethan.
Hey, I'm Mike.
I watched the first half of Leprechaun Returns.
I watched the second half of Leprechaun Returns.
And this is the other half.
Watch till you can't.
We've done it.
We've made it to the end.
It's
We're
over.
finally here. Oh, it's been such a long time. Probably because we've also had to deal with this fucking leprechaun, but luckily it's trapped.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about him anymore.
And we're reaching
He's
the end of the
sealed
Leprechaun
in
movies.
in his Lucky Charms container.
That's right. That's right. We did that in the last episode, guys.
If you're listening
Previously
out of
on
order,
the other half.
If you're like, you know what, I don't want to watch Leprechaun Back to the Hood. I just want to skip to Leprechaun Returns. I want to see him come back. Like, that's what happened. So
There
we're just
you
giving you a
go.
little recap.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're watching this one, which
final
is
one.
the last movie for this podcast. That so I was confused because I was like, I thought it was like I thought it was made by WWE.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
And I turned it on. I was like, no, sci-fi original.
Oh.
Which is weird. I didn't really get that.
Yeah, I remember you saying that when we were talking about Leprechaun in the Hood, and I was like, I was dreading this one. I was like, oh, here comes
I thought it was gonna be like the shittiest thing.
wrestling, like.
But you know what? I'm actually really thankful you made us keep watching more because this movie,
I liked it a lot.
it was kind of fun.
I really enjoyed this.
It was kind of
movie.
fun.
This is one of my favorite movies.
Honestly,
for the
this is
series.
in the higher level. We gotta rank all of these after this.
Sure, we do. Of course.
But yeah, I mean, I was very surprised by how much
Me
I
too.
like this, and so the thing that surprised me the most is this is based off of the first, movie, the very first movie, and in my mind, like I don't know, like I think that like if you're talking about like first movies,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm thinking of our past series that we've done, like
Like
the first Hellraiser,
Hellraiser.
super iconic. It's
Yeah.
got a lot of homages you could do to that because it's just such a good movie.
Yeah.
You think about like
Pinhead.
the very first, or even the very first like other movies like Nightmare on Elm Street,
Oh yeah.
Friday the 13th, like all iconic. Like the first one's always so good.
Right.
And the first Leprechaun movie, while it is probably one of the best of the series,
Right.
I don't really find it iconic.
No.
Not in my mind.
I think the only reason it's iconic is because of like Jennifer Aniston is in it.
I'm barely iconic because of her.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just a cool thing that she's there.
Right. Exactly.
So it's weird when they go back to this, how much of like kind of the callbacks work.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just because I think the movie series itself so far has been
strayed so far.
Has been so inconsistent.
Yeah.
The lore is completely different.
Yep.
And so I was very surprised that they were like, we're going to start referencing the old movies. I'm like, this is what I want.
Yeah, this is what we've been wanting from all these
when
other
I watch
movies.
Watch Till We Can't.
Yeah.
I want them to have some sort of connection, even if it's vague.
Some lore.
Something
Yeah.
that passes through instead of literally changing it up each time, having a different leprechaun.
Yep.
All that stuff.
And we do have a different leprechaun. That's the crazy thing.
He's not a different
Well,
leprechaun.
but Warwick Davis did not return.
Okay, I guess that's true. Yes.
But you're right. This is the same leprechaun from the original.
From the original movie.
Yeah.
So there is a new leprechaun. He's not Warwick Davis.
Yeah. He's
What did
another
you
guy.
think? What did you think of his performance?
Man,
he was the worst part of the
he
movie.
was really bad.
He was the worst part of the movie.
He was really bad.
Everything else about this movie is like a step up, but they really are just lacking Warwick Davis.
There's a big hole in this movie, and it is Warwick Davis.
It
shaped.
is.
So it's not that big a hole, but but no, like genuinely, like you really realize how much Warwick brings to this character.
He really does. Like
everything, the way he laughs, the way he talks, his performance,
and so it's interesting because this is similar to how they recast Pinhead, right?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
From what's his fucking name?
Hellraiser.
No, I'm thinking the actor's name.
Oh,
something Bradley.
Doug Bradley.
Doug Bradley.
Yeah.
They recast him, and that actor did a great job. Did a different reinterpretation of him.
Well, wait, which one?
The latest one. We're talking about the remake from the
say.
Hulu one.
The Hulu one did do a good job.
Did a good job. We're not talking about the one from.
I was gonna say.
God, no. The one after that was okay, but
but the puffy,
the puffy guy,
the puffy guy did a bad job. But you're right. The more recent one, that was a good
interpretation because it was different. You know, it showed that like here are the core tenets of
Cenobites.
Cenobites.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this is the core tenet of Hellraiser, Pinhead.
Yeah.
Like the thing about this one is this is clearly like not a reboot in the fact that like we're gonna like have a new leprechaun. We're gonna like pass the torch. It's like no, this is someone who is supposed to be from the first movie. You know, they're echoing Warwick Davis directly, and I don't think they hold a candle at all.
Not at all.
I think if they went with a different direction and tried to act completely differently, it might have worked better.
Like a different leprechaun or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. But and had him do his own thing.
Yes,
because I do feel like I that's why I was sort of like hesitant because I'm like I feel bad because like I think the actor is trying, but like
it's just not there though.
No, it's just not there. He doesn't have that Warwick Davis spark.
Like you can say some people are trying and they're bad at their job. That's fine.
Well, it's because it's like I feel like he's being cornered here, where it's like, yo, like this is what you need to do. Like you need to do what Warwick Davis did, and that's it. And it's like maybe that's not. Maybe the actor wanted to do some other fun shit.
But they are pigeonholed based on the fact that even the script is like tied so directly to that first movie.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, he is the worst part of this movie.
He's the worst part of this movie, which is weird because like he's always the best part of the movie.
He's pretty great.
Yeah, everything else,
like the jokes are great. The characters are great.
That's kind of the problem with this movie though, is that like there's that big hole missing, right?
Yeah. Well,
like if Warwick Davis came back for this movie, this would be the best Leprechaun movie.
100% agree with you.
Absolutely would be the best.
It'd be better than the first one. Yeah.
I think it would. I think it would far surpass that. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, it's
now
not.
that this movie exists too, you can feel the gulf between, because I think before we were saying Leprechaun 3 was our favorite, like sequel, right?
Yeah.
The one where he goes to Vegas. You now realize the gulf between like how good the first Leprechaun movie and the third Leprechaun movie are when you have this movie where it's like you could have been doing this the whole fucking time. You know? Like,
but I mean, this is also very by the numbers too, right? Like this is a by the numbers kind of horror movie. But like, Leprechaun 3 is like weird. It's a weird ass movie. There's a sex robot.
There's a sex robot with boobs. But this one, I don't know. Like this one works so like all the actors are killing it in this movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everyone does such a good job.
I guess I'm talking more about like the setting. I think the setting and the plot was kind of like
you can change the setting. I'm just like you stick with this concept. Like stick with this idea is what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, do any of the characters return? Because I know Jennifer Aniston isn't in this movie.
Some characters do return.
That's what I've heard.
That's what you've heard.
That's what I've heard.
Anyway, let's get started with the opening of this. So it's a sci-fi original, which surprised me.
I miss sci-fi originals, man. Back in the day, was this a sci-fi logo with like the planet on it too?
No, this is the new one, dude.
Ooh, Sci-fi?
This is the Sci-fi logo.
I
wrote
that shit out of here.
Sci-fi. Yeah, I don't like that rebranding, but I guess it's working for him.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So the opening shot. So I didn't know what this movie was. I didn't know it was a continuation, but then I noticed the first shot is the leprechaun eating a 4-leaf clover and his face like melting, and he fell into a well.
And that's the end of the first movie.
But it looks so different. I was like, these are some graphics. They're using some special effects in this. And it looked good, but it was just like, this is not the first movie.
They reshot it.
And then it says, Leprechaun returns. And then we are introduced to our main character, Lila, who wakes up on a bus and looks between kind of like the bus backseat cushions. And there's a little leprechaun that goes, "Waiters be gold!" And then she wakes up again, and it was a dream. And then Lila takes a photo of herself and posts it on Funstagram.
Oh, boy.
Man.
I love this kind of shit.
Terrible.
They don't want to have actual websites.
They don't want to use the actual website. Yeah. It looks so bad. Their tagline for Funstagram: love, moment, emotion.
Why even do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, like I love that there's some probably like intern working on this shit, and they're like, I'm really gonna put a lot of effort into this Funstagram thing.
Like, why would you do that? Just get a real. Just put it on there. I don't know if there's some legal thing where they like pay Instagram.
I think they might have to pay money. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. And they're like, we'll just make some fun, goofy thing. Anyway, she says she's off to save the world. I don't know what that means. I mean, I do kind of, but it seems a little excessive.
Aren't they like into like green energy or something like that? Is that what she's off to save the world?
So it's revealed that eventually she's going to this place. This is a little ahead of it, but that's fine. She's going to basically the original house in the first movie.
Yes.
And because it's so off the grid, they're going to try to make it basically economical and sustainable with her sorority sisters. Because she's off to college. She's transferring, I believe.
Do you think she's into green energy because of like?
I didn't even think about that.
Leprechauns
love
green?
Green.
Yeah.
They never mention much green energy stuff. They're just kind of like, we're off the grid. We're we got solar panels.
I saw the solar panels.
We got our own water supply, which is the well.
They have a very small carbon footprint.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like a little leprechaun's footprint, very small.
Just like that. There you go. There you go.
So she gets dropped off at the bus stop and then has to kind of wait for her friends to pick her up. But then a car drives up. It's a truck. And it says, Ozzy's Paint and Tire Services, baby.
Ozzy's in the movie.
Ozzy's in this movie? It's the exact same actor.
Same actor.
I can't believe they got him back. But
I can. What else is he doing? Yeah.
So they recharacterize him a little bit. Like, I don't know. I can't remember the first movie ended where if he got his wish of quote unquote becoming smart or whatever.
No, remember he was always smart. He was just smart in a different way than everyone else.
Okay. I couldn't tell because he's acting. I don't think
he's acting smart now.
I don't think this Ozzy would eat a gold again. Is all I'm saying. He won't eat a gold piece by accident. He's a little bit smarter. He's just kind of a simple guy.
Right.
But, you know.
Right.
So he arrives and he's like, hey, do you need a ride? And she's like, doesn't know this guy. And he's like, no, I'm good. And he's like, oh, are you one of the girls that's fixed up that old house? I'll give you a ride. And he's like, no, it's okay. And then he's like, you look like someone I used to know. And I'm like, someone I used to know? What's going on? Because I didn't know the connection to the house yet.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, clearly my friends are not picking me up. So I'm going to go text and look at Boogly. Go to Boogly.
Yeah.
But Boogly?
Boogly.
Why does it put the Y at the end? Why do they put Boogle?
Yeah,
but
right.
They're like Boogly. Boogly's it.
Search emotion.
Plus a Y.
Yeah.
To look up a taxi service, and the only taxi service in the area is Ozzy's Taxi. She calls it. He picks up. He's like, do you need a ride? Like, all right, fine. I'll get on there. So she gets in his car. It's like a truck, drives over to where she needs to go, and his car is full of 4-leaf clovers.
Oh.
And she's like, oh, are you Irish? He's like, nope. Are you a fan of the culture? He's like, no.
Hate him.
Those fuckers.
Yeah.
So then she's like, yeah, so this house we're going to, she's like, oh yeah, you heard of it? Yeah. Like, she's like, yeah, my mom gifted it to me. He's like, wait, are you Tori Redding's daughter? And she's like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I used to know her. Yeah.
Oh.
He's like, she's like, yeah, she died last year.
She died.
Dude.
Yeah, she's not going to appear in this movie.
She's not going to appear in this movie. So don't get your hopes up, audience.
She looks dead to camera.
Yeah. Ozzy's like, well, Tori was cool. She was very nice to me. And she's like,
she was nice.
Do you have any stories about her? And he just kind of like stares off like, I don't want to talk about this. And then Lila's like, wow, this house is so far from campus, setting up that they're going to be isolated.
Mm-hmm.
So they arrive at the house. It has Greek letters on it now. I think AU or whatever for their sorority. And Ozzy drops her off, and Ozzy just keeps staring at the well. I noticed they did a good continuity with his ear still being kind of messed up, has scarring.
Oh, look at that.
Kind of fun.
Do you think he still has a gold piece inside of him?
He might indeed. So then everything's okay. He says, we made sure of it to Lila.
Okay. Really quick. I had to look this up. I didn't want to sound like a fucking idiot. Because I always do that on a podcast.
No, who would do such a... I never do that, so it's good you did this. So finally, keep it up to the right level.
I had to boogle you this.
Oh, you had to boogle this. You don't want to boogle this fact.
I didn't want to bungle this. So AU is the chemical element for gold.
Oh, that's cute. You're right. It is, isn't it?
Later on, I see that in the movie. I'm like, that's interesting. I wonder if that's the
yeah,
thing.
you're right. It is.
I just Googled it just now, and yes,
double
it is.
check. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Well, you should trust your instinct because it was right.
Yeah, that's
you have an eye for that gold.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I think I drank too much of that whiskey.
Oh no, the whiskey the leprechaun came in.
Yeah.
I know it's hard times out here, but like, come on, man, you didn't dump that out.
I didn't realize. I forgot.
Oh yeah, and you're like, this is a little creamier than I
expected.
Yeah,
exactly. It tastes like a Guinness.
Special edition Jameson.
Yeah.
So then he says cryptically, like, yeah, we made sure everything's okay. And he's like, if it's not, make sure to look at the basement. She's like, wait, what? And then he drives off.
Mysterious.
So she gets out and kind of gets near the well. So we all know what happened in the well.
We know what happened in the well.
And she stares at it and looks and thinks. And then, jump scare. Katie's there. And she's one of her fellow sorority sisters. She's like, oh, I can't believe you're here. Wait, you're Lila. Oh, how'd you get here? It's not until, your car's at that time. Oh, we missed it. I'm so sorry. That's okay. Meredith already took the car, so we couldn't pick you up anyway. So it's a good thing you got a ride. But I'm sorry you had to ride with that weirdo Ozzy. He's so weird. Anyway,
Meredith sucks.
We haven't met her yet.
Katie's cool.
Katie is cool.
I like Katie.
Rose is also here. She's mentioned Rose. Rose is cool.
Nice.
Rose is like the person trying to get shit done. She's actually the one who cares about everything.
Right.
She's like, yeah, she's making stuff. They mentioned they're making clover juice, which I assume comes into play later.
That explains a lot, actually.
Okay, good to know because they're
I didn't know what that was.
We're making juice out of the clovers. Yeah, there's just a weird patch in the back. There's a lot of clovers around here, so we decided to make some clover juice.
Interesting. Okay.
Rosie's in the back. She's like, I'm trying to fix everything up, and she's like, so they said this well was like decommissioned, but I tested the well water. It's perfectly fine, so we're gonna use that to pump our water. I know, right? Anyway, we got these solar panels installed. Until then, there's no internet and no cell service. And I'm like, oh, they're setting it up. They're setting up all the problems that are going to happen.
Yeah.
So the girls kind of chat with each other and they talk about how Meredith's an asshole. But the reason they keep her is because of like she knows natural plants in the area. That's what she's going to college for. And I'm like, that seems like the most useless fucking thing when you build a house.
Do that.
Just Google what plants to use.
There's no internet.
Go Google at the bus stop and like save it to your phone. And just go
buy a book.
Yeah, or
Meredith is doing the same thing a book could give you.
That's basically it. I'm like, you don't need her.
Yeah, get out of here.
But whatever.
She sucks.
They're like, oh, she likes natural plants and she does drugs and she drinks a lot.
That's why they keep her around because she's got drugs on her.
I don't think they really seem. They don't seem interested in that.
They're not that cool.
No, they're basically nerds just trying to get this house cool.
Yeah.
So then they're hanging out in the house, but then Meredith shows up. And we meet her, and she brought boys with her.
Whoa!
She brought this guy named Andy and his friend Matt. And apparently Andy and Katie used to be an item. I know. And they got pizza from this place called Legitimate Pizza. That's what it says in the box. It's not fake pizza, just to let you know.
Okay.
Meredith is like, I brought pizza. Let's get fucking drunk. And Rose is like, do you want to like help work on stuff? She's like, no, fuck that. We'll do it tomorrow.
Do you know any of the natural plants in the area?
Like, what the fuck is she even going to help with?
Yeah, she's not going to help at all. Even if she knew the plants, she wouldn't tell you.
Just
get rid of her.
Yeah, she's useless.
She sucks.
Anyway, and then they make jokes about like, oh, Katie's not going to sleep with Andy tonight, is she? Oh, it's like, obviously they're going to.
Mm-hmm.
So then Ozzy is driving, and he's like, oh, shit, I forgot my phone. Well, okay, we'll go back. I think I must have dropped it at the place I dropped her, Lila off.
How did he forget his phone there? Just fell out of his pocket?
I don't even know because I don't even think he gets out of the car. Yeah. So I just think I don't know.
Maybe he is still stupid.
Maybe he is still stupid.
Yeah.
So he goes back and finds his phone. He's like, cool. But then he hears laughing coming from the well.
Oh, no.
And he goes and he gets his 4-leaf clover out. And he like walks up to the well and gets real close. And then the well just explodes with green juice.
Oh, my God.
Explodes all over the place. He's like, okay, it was just in my memory. That's just something I imagined. He gets back in his car. He starts driving. He's like, it's just a coincidence. But then he's like, oh, no, I'm starting to feel sick. Oh, my stomach. So he's starting to feel sick. He pulls over, and his stomach is like popping in and out. He's got something growing in there. And I'm like, oh, shit. Is he going to have like a bunch of gold come out of his stomach again or whatever?
Yeah.
And no, what happens is an arm pops out of his stomach and another arm pops out of his stomach and 2 legs.
Whoa!
The leprechaun is being burnt out of Ozzy. He's coming out of him.
How? Why?
So it later explained that it's because Ozzy still had that gold piece inside of him.
It's still lodged in his
makes
belly?
no fucking sense.
You didn't pass that shit?
Right? Like you'd pass. It's not a big gold piece. Like it's just a coin.
Yeah.
But so he busts out of his belly and he's like, Papa!
It's showtime!
Pretty much. And Ozzy's like, oh, we killed you 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're looking a little worse for wear, me boy. Anyway.
He looks worse for wear, too.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
25 years, I got a lot of killing to make up for. So they're kind of like, the thing that kind of bums me a little bit out about this movie is they're just doing the thing where it's like, the leprechaun just wants to kill people. And it's just like, I liked it better when he was just like,
toying
all about
with them?
The gold. Yeah. He just wanted the gold and was just fucking with people a lot, you know?
He just wants to
kill
them.
But now he just wants to kill people now, so I guess he is missing his gold, so he wants to kill people, I suppose.
That's true. He's looking for his gold.
He basically walks out of his corpse and says, ooh, I do look better. And he walks off and Ozzy's
I like
dead.
how he even was like, I have changed.
Like, pretty much, yeah. But he says he's better looking, so I don't know.
Sure,
I disagree with.
Is.
So he walks off. So then Katie seems smart, like a smart person, but she's acting dumb in front of Andy, even though Andy's probably like the dumbest person in the world.
I don't know if I know Andy.
You do. He's still alive in your half.
Oh, okay.
Do you know 2 guys? There's 2.
I know one guy, Matt.
What happened to Andy?
I don't know. Oh, wait. I know what happens to Andy.
Okay. I was like, it felt like where I was at, it felt like he wasn't going to last very long.
Yeah. No, you're right. He doesn't last very long. But now I remember what happens to Andy.
Anyway, Andy's there.
Right.
So let's see. Lila admits to like everyone. They're like, what's your family? What's your deal, girl? And she's like, well, I was taking care of my mom for so long. Like, I was kind of like working.
Taking care of her? What was wrong with her?
She had mental health issues because she thought a leprechaun was going to fucking kill her all the time. And then she got cancer and died. And everyone's like, oh, awkward. It's like, motherfuckers, you asked.
Yeah.
You asked. You wanted to know what your story was.
Sorry. Like.
Yeah. And then they're like, ugh, weird. Anyway.
Back to drinking.
Pretty much. And Matt is like, I'll help you with rainwater barrels, Lila, in the morning. And she's like, oh, thank you. But Meredith's like, careful. Her mom was crazy. You know that shit is hereditary.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Meredith sucks.
She's awful.
Yeah.
And then Andy and Katie go smash, and the leprechaun sees them smashing through the windows. Like, cool.
Cool.
Oh, neat. I haven't seen that in 25 years.
Gotta bust a nut.
So then Lila goes to sleep and wakes up to see bloody Ozzy hovering over her. She wakes up with blood on her face, which is never explained. It's like real blood.
Oh,
for
interesting.
Real. Don't know why.
That's interesting.
And it turns out she kind of hears some noise, and she goes and checks the basement, and it's completely flooded. There's water everywhere, and the leprechaun is like hiding.
The basement is flooded?
The basement's flooded.
Whoa.
I know. And it's not just because Matt's there. You know what I'm saying? Matt's there. He's flooding her basement.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, they have a thing.
I got there.
Okay, it's okay. Anyway,
I didn't realize Matt and Lila had a thing.
Kinda, yeah. It's pretty vague, but it's there. And the leprechaun's hiding in the basement water as well. So you're like, oh shit, is he gonna pop out and kill her?
Bum bum bum.
But there's all this water, and Lila goes and shuts off the water leak, and Rose comes down. Is like, oh, it's gonna set us back a whole day. And Rose is also like, by the way, don't mention your mom so much. Everyone gets weirded out by that.
I wasn't gonna mention it again.
And she's like, oh, okay, but she's really important to me. It's like, don't do that. People get weirded out by that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So those kind of people.
Yeah. Yep.
But
sorority sisters.
Yeah, exactly. We're all friends until drama happens.
Yeah, exactly. Until shit really gets down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the leprechaun is hanging out in the water, and the girls both go upstairs, and he reappears and says, I love the smell of me gold in the morning. And I'm like, what the fuck are you saying?
He's not good.
He's not good. He's just saying weird shit.
He's just
like,
saying shit.
I'm just saying stuff. And it's like, you're not. I feel like they're just it's so inorganic to what's happening.
Is it
the
the writer that we blame?
I blame the writer.
Okay, good. I don't want to blame this actor.
No,
I don't know if he was improvising.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lila is outside. She's trying to move some barrels, and the leprechaun's in there, and he's fucking around with it, but he runs away.
Yeah.
And then Matt is a film guy. He likes to film stuff.
Right.
He comes out and he tries to help her.
My favorite movie is Leprechaun.
I love Leprechaun.
Yeah,
piece is underrated. Let me tell you.
Leprechaun 3?
Leprechaun 3, pretty good.
Classic.
You know it's Warwick Davis's favorite movie. So the leprechaun tries to kill them while they're trying to move stuff, but he's like,
with no gold these 25 years, I've lost me knack. But time and a fresh killing should help bring it back.
Okay.
And he
keeps reminding us how long it's been.
I know. Well, he tries to like levitate a pitchfork and stab someone, but just kind of like falls over. Lila keeps seeing the dead taxi guy and then blurts it out loud and is like, oh. Matt's like, what? I saw a dead guy over there. Oh, I can't believe I said that out loud. And he's just like, oh, that's cool.
We're talking about a lot of dead people.
This lady is maybe a little crazy.
Yeah.
So then we got a whole scene where a post office guy arrives and he like delivers the mail. This guy was introduced somewhat earlier, just kind of like waving. Like,
I don't think this guy ever.
He doesn't.
Appears,
he doesn't because he's like.
What does he look like? Do you have a mustache?
I don't fucking remember. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Mike.
There's a guy in a mustache in my half of the movie that I don't understand why he's there.
Maybe no. It's definitely not this guy.
Okay.
He hears the leprechaun inside the mailbox making cat sounds.
Mm-hmm.
So he reaches his hand in there. He reaches his head in there and gets his fucking head stuck. And the leprechaun like breaks him out and throws him on the ground and takes his car and runs over his head.
Damn.
And then he puts a little fragile sticker on his head. He's like, hee hee hee. And there's blood on his boot. He's like, oh shit, I got to clean this off. And I'm like, okay.
There we go.
Reference.
There we go.
Reference. To be fair, that is one that has been somewhat consistent.
This is lore.
This is good lore that's been consistent actually throughout the series. One of the few pieces of lore is that he cares about his shoes.
Yes, exactly. Because he was an old shoemaker.
And he loves shoes, I guess. All of them do, I guess. Maybe all leprechauns are shoe people. Unless it was, what was it? Leprechaun Back to the Hood, where he was like a fucking.
He was a guy.
He was like a king's person.
In the second one. Yes. Yeah.
Corrupted.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're from nature.
But not this one, I guess. Anyway, so he's like, killing is the key to me health. It'll help me find me wealth.
He's rhyming again, too.
He's rhyming. He does rhyme. They're not great, but he rhymes.
Sometimes he rhymes.
Sometimes he rhymes, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's inconsistent. I'm kind of sad that like the first movie we saw, which was Leprechaun in
the Hood, the first one, yeah.
Like he rhymes the most in that movie.
Yeah, I know.
Out of all of these, which is such a disappointment.
I know. We just want a rhyming killer.
That's all we want.
Yeah.
Lila's taking a shower and Leprechaun flushes the toilet. She's like, "Oh, it's cold." And she's like, "What the heck's going on with the water?" And Katie pops in, is like, "I don't know." And takes a photo of her like with the shower curtain around her.
Oh, why'd she do that?
I'm putting it on the gram.
Oh,
They could say the gram because it's
short for
not Instagram.
Facegram.
It's short for
facial
gram.
Facialgram.
Facialgram. That's a different series, Mike.
Gram.
We put all the sexy stuff behind us in the last episode. Funstagram.
Because
you're having fun on it.
That's right. It's like Friendster.
It's like Friendster. Oh man, I haven't thought about that in a long time. Friendster. Oh. So then, so she gets out of the shower, and Leprechaun doesn't do anything. He's just fucking around, which I'm like, oh, maybe he's gonna.
There we go.
Fuck
He's
around,
just
not
being
kill
mischievous.
people.
Where is his gold? Like that's the other thing, right? They haven't gotten his gold.
No one knows.
They don't have his gold.
No, he's just running around being an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
So then turns out they have internet again. Matt's showing off his drone footage he got, and they got like a little creature running around, and they're like, oh, it must be like a rabbit. So Rose freaks out, like, oh, it's nighttime. I'm gonna go put some fucking fences around to stop the rabbits from eating all our food, otherwise we're gonna die. Because I guess self-sustaining crops and such.
Right.
Suddenly Irish music starts playing over the Bluetooth speakers, and they're
flogging Molly.
Yeah, I wish. No, it's much more traditional.
Oh, okay.
Then, so Lila's like, "Oh, I have a speaker. I'll go get that. I have a portable speaker. I'll go grab that." So she goes to her room and sees that her stuffed bear is like all like moved, and so she goes on the bed to find it, and it's been decapitated.
Oh,
and the leprechaun pulls the bear head off of him. It's like, and she's like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" And she falls over, and he like grabs her leg and licks her and says, full-bodied with hints of your mother. And I know that's like the gross.
That's the gross leprechaun. This has been established. This is lore as well.
Yes, he's gross.
Yeah, he's gross around women.
But she's like, "Oh my god, my mom wasn't crazy." And he's like, "Thanks to this gold in me friend's bowels, I was able to reform." Then he goes to grab her, and she pushes him off, and he's about to hit her really hard in the head, but the power goes out because Andy earlier was told not to blow up the air mattress because the fuses couldn't handle it.
And he did it anyway.
And yeah, there you go.
Andy sucks. Katie, what'd you ever see in him?
She mentions that multiple times.
Yeah.
But then she keeps having sex with him, so I don't know.
It's big dick.
That's what she saw.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't see much else. Matt says, "Way to go, dude!" And then Andy's like upset, and he walks off. And then Matt's like, "I'm gonna film myself in the chair." So he films himself sitting in the chair, going, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen." And then he hears Lila scream. He's like, "Lila, are you okay?" And he goes and
why do you do that? Why do you film himself in the chair?
I don't know. He's making a weird documentary. I don't know what his goal here is. It's just general shitty documentarian shit.
Nah, okay.
He saw her. Let's see. So Leprechaun's mentioning, "I saw you showering, and you got you got oodles of talent." I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? What is this guy?
This guy sucks.
He sucks.
I don't like this leprechaun.
He's just not a good leprechaun. So then she kicks his head off, and gooey juice just comes out, and he just puts it back on. And then Matt's like, "Say, where are you?" And then he imitates her voice, saying, "I'm coming, Maddie." And she's like, "What the fuck?" And he runs off, and he just knocks him over.
Shit.
And then runs off, and he's like, "Well, an animal must have knocked me over."
Must have been another rabbit.
Yeah, and Lila's like, you're not gonna believe me because I'm crazy, but that was like a leprechaun. He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Would you believe like somebody if they said that they saw a leprechaun?
If the leprechaun earlier knocked me over, probably. Probably a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway, Katie leaves to go fix the fuse box, and Andy jumps.
I wonder if people believe us that we've seen a leprechaun.
I feel
for
like
our podcast.
So many motherfuckers are out there saying, "Oh, they're just doing voices."
No, they don't sound anything like us.
No.
They have an accent.
How could I communicate with the leprechaun that quickly? Right?
You can't.
There's no way.
Can't. There's no scientific way that you can explain that.
We crosstalk all the time.
I talk to him as well.
I don't get it. It's just such a stupid.
Guys, come on. We've seen a leprechaun.
We've seen a leprechaun.
Got it trapped.
It's terrorizing Mike's house. I think this is really fucked up that you guys aren't.
That you guys don't believe us.
This is just you never believe victims, do you?
You never believe victims.
Never do.
Yeah.
Think about
not a leprechaun.
Mike had to drink Guinness cum.
Yeah, fuckers.
And now who knows what's happening to his body? He could be
something
just like
terrible
Ozzy and have a little leprechaun pop out of him. I don't know.
I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of things that are gross, Katie goes to fix the fuse box, and Andy scares her, and then they just start making out and doing it.
God damn it,
And
Katie.
then Meredith's like drinking from the kitchen. By the way, she's been drunk this whole movie, like drinking.
She
and
drinks in my half.
She drinks a lot.
Yeah. She got a problem.
Her thing is that she's like, I grow vegetables because you can make alcohol of any vegetable.
Oh, that's why they keep her around. It's because they know.
But no one seems to enjoy it except her.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I don't know. It's like you're really into chocolate. And like someone's like, yeah, but you can just like grow chocolate out of the ground, just eat it raw. And
she
it's
feels
like, no one
more
wants
like
to
the
do
person
that,
that's like really into like weed culture, you know?
but
and it's like,
booze.
right. It's just like, oh, that's really cool, I guess. But like, that's your only facet of your personality. And also your personality is terrible.
Yeah. And
like,
you're constantly high and just boring and like annoying and kind of mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just
Yeah.
someone who's too into some vice and it's just like, come on, man.
Come
it's
on.
too much.
Find another part of your personality.
Yeah, like get into weed or something. So Meredith's like, ew, gross. And then she turns around and Leprechaun's there. He's like, she's like,
So Meredith saw the leprechaun.
Meredith sees Leprechaun and talks to him and says, oh, cool, and takes a photo with him, like selfies with him.
Gonna post it on the
And then he's like,
Instagram.
golden shower. I'm like, what the fuck?
Why did you say golden
I don't
shower?
know. I rewound a couple times. I did not understand why he just said golden shower.
This is the problem with the leprechaun. He's just saying jokes that don't make sense.
No, he doesn't make sense at all. Maybe because he's thinking gold and they're going to fuck. And
In
they're
the
gonna
shower?
afterwards, but they're not even close to the shower. I don't fucking
And they're gonna
know.
fuck?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
No, not the Leprechaun and Meredith. Andy and Katie are going to fuck.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, I don't care what the others say. I'm gonna take a picture. This is hilarious. And the Leprechaun's like, oh, a Walkman and a camera all in one. Impressive. She's like, what's a Walkman? He's like, never mind. Anyway, the Leprechaun's old. It's funny.
He's yeah.
So he's like, anyway, tell me what a gold is, and I won't whip you to shreds. She looks kind of scared at this point. But then we cut to Lila running out of the house, telling Rose and Matt, like, there's a leprechaun in there. You don't believe me. And Rose is like, are you sure? And then Meredith comes out and is like, look, there's a fucking photo of a leprechaun. Like, she took a photo, and everyone's like, oh, shit. But then Lila's like, yeah, we got to take care of him. Like, that's something my mom was saying, was like attacking her. And then Meredith immediately is like, you're like, oh, Meredith's like coming to prove everything. She immediately goes, maybe we should stop taking the rantings of a crazy person seriously.
You
Like,
have a
you
photo
literally
of
just
a
talked to
leprechaun.
him. She was like, oh, maybe earlier she mentioned that maybe it was like hallucinations, but it's like, you have a
have a
fucking
photo!
photo. Would you Photoshop that in your alcoholic state?
Meredith sucks.
She's just such an inconsistent character that sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and everyone else is inconsistent because they're just like, yeah, that's probably true, Meredith, you know?
it's weird because like do kind of believe her, but it's very unclear. So they go back in, and Meredith doesn't tell anyone what the leprechaun said to her.
What the leprechaun say to her?
I don't know, but like clearly it was like, I want gold, right? Like, show me my gold or I'll kill you.
Right.
And so it's like, clearly Leprechaun let her go, right?
Yes.
So like, is there some weird? There's probably some deal that
You'll
she
have
made.
to see.
She had to because she sucks, right?
You'll have to see.
Andy then like leaves after smashing
Katie.
and he throws a condom away in the compost bin. And
That's
Katie's,
pretty
and
great.
Katie's like, no, that's not biodegradable. He's like, whatever. And she's like, I made such bad choices. So he goes out and pisses somewhere, and the leprechaun appears. He's like, oh, what the fuck? What's this leprechaun doing here? And the leprechaun's like, where's me gold? And he's like, I don't fucking know. And he takes a photo of him. And the leprechaun's like, tit for tat, you took a picture of me. And then he picks up Andy and just fucking throws him. Which is funny because I thought he would like kill him, but he just kind of throws him.
Yeah. He's not going to hurt poor Andy.
Andy hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Yet.
He's an innocent.
I guess he took a photo.
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone else is like outside looking for the leprechaun, and then Andy just gets thrown into the picture, and the leprechaun's here, and he's just standing there, and he's like taunts Andy, and Andy's like fucking macho. He's like, well, I can fucking take this little guy. So he throws the compost bin. I was wondering if they'd make a reference to the condom falling out or something, but he throws the compost bin. Leprechaun. Good stuff here. He throws at the leprechaun. Leprechaun jumps on the compost bin and rolls it around, and like
a
basically
log?
just like a log, and then cartoonily like throws it at him using his feet.
Nice.
And it knocks him way back against the wall, and that's the end of my half.
Well, then,
Yeah.
the leprechaun uses his telekinesis to drop a solar panel down off the roof and slices Andy down the middle.
Oh,
That's the first thing I see.
Okay, let's go with Andy.
Yeah, there you
R.I.P..
go. And I'm like, that's a pretty good effect. You actually see like the gross inner side, like insides of his body.
The effects in this movie are pretty gnarly.
It's pretty great.
Like they're I don't know. Maybe it's like the tech or something got better, but because it's all like practical. I think
This was practical. Yes, this was
So-
like a.
I just don't know why it looks so much better than like the practical effects of the earlier movies. Because I don't think this movie has a big budget either. Like this is another direct to video.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it just the tech has gotten better? I've never like followed like gore tech. You know, maybe it's more accessible to make like good fake blood or good.
I
fake
think
entrails.
probably, and it's also like just especially when you're like working with sci-fi. There's a lot of people that just know what they're doing.
That's true,
You
and you
know?
could probably like even if it like was practical, there probably was some CG we didn't notice. It was probably just some slight CG that they
Probably.
could actually do, which they couldn't do in the past.
That's true to hide certain
to
things.
hide certain things. Yeah.
It's a pretty great effect. And so everyone gets afraid because Annie's been sliced down the middle. So everyone runs back to the car to try to escape. And Katie's like, "Do you think Andy's dead?" And I'm like, "Yeah, girl.
Yeah, dude. I don't think
he's
you can come
dead."
back from that one.
Yeah, but they can't get in the car because it's locked and they don't have the keys. So they got to find the keys.
Got it.
And they also don't know where Rose is.
Sure, Rose did go earlier, so
Right.
that would make sense that they.
So
can't
they don't
find
know
her.
where Rose is. So they've
Well,
got
no,
to.
they found her earlier. Are they
Is
thinking
Rose
Meredith?
the one? No, not Meredith. Meredith is there.
Okay, we got Rose.
They're looking for Rose.
She is
The one with the long blonde or brown hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so looking for Rose. I wrote down the leprechaun in this movie is mischievous and likes to polish shoes again. Also, I wrote down this little building looks a lot like the first movie because I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know his continuity.
No, but I was like, this looks a lot like the first movie. This is very interesting.
Ah.
They're talking about the leprechaun, and they're like, they're like saying like, oh, maybe the leprechaun's like a cannibal or something like that. Maybe he like ate Rose or something like that. And they're like, no, he'd never eat Rose.
Also weird because Meredith like knows this shit.
Right,
Like,
but
knows what he
Meredith
wants.
doesn't want to tell everybody.
That's right.
And so they're like, maybe he ate him. And then they're like, no, he would never eat him. He's too fancy. And then Katie says,
He seems a little too refined, though. I mean, he wears that freaking jaunty hat.
I love Katie. Whoever the actor playing Katie, killing it in this movie.
Everyone,
She's so
everyone
fucking
seems to
funny.
know what movie they're in.
But Katie especially is
Yeah.
like, she's so fucking funny in this movie. Like I
I do like her.
This actor is doing a really, really good job. The gang sneak around looking for Rose and also the car keys. They're trying to avoid the leprechaun. They find the car keys eventually. They split up too. So I believe Katie and Matt are looking for the keys. And Meredith and Lila are looking for Rose.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe it's the other way around. Either way, Meredith is like, they hear like the leprechaun, and Meredith's like, oh, Lila, her name's Lila, right?
Yeah, the main character.
Yes. They're like, she's like, Lila, go in the basement, hide away from, we got to go in the basement and hide from the leprechaun. And she's like, no, I think that's a bad idea. And she's like, no, come on, go in the basement. We're going to hide from the leprechaun. And though Lila goes in the basement, Meredith locks the door behind her. And apparently she has a deal with the leprechaun because the leprechaun wants Lila and the gold.
Okay, because Lila knows where it is.
Apparently.
But like, okay, so he says like, look in the basement for the gold. Do you think? Like earlier, Ozzy said that. Is the basement still flooded?
No.
Okay, so
completely
they
drained.
They did pump it. Okay.
They did pump it, which is why I was surprised when you said it was flooded because she goes down there and it's
Yeah, they did
looks
mention they're
totally
going to pump
normal.
it, but they didn't really show. I don't think they really showed the scene of that happening.
It's totally dry. Meredith runs back and tells everyone that the leprechaun killed Lila, and they believe her, of course. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And they all leave without Lila. But actually, I wrote down this other thing. The leprechaun feels a little bit more like a droopy dog. You know, like the old cartoon droopy dog, because like he's not like really causing any kind of form of violence. It's more like he just like show up in my half of the movie. He'll like show up and then everyone will go like, ah, and then they'll like push the leprechaun away and the leprechaun will like
Knock
get
up against
hurt.
something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's most of my movie. Like
It makes sense. He's not very powerful yet.
not yet.
Like
yeah.
the only reason he was able to kill Andy was because he basically was,
He
like,
was standing
right under
next
an
to-
area that could fall. You know, it's like one of those things in video games where it's like shoot the red barrel. He basically
Yeah.
did that where it's like easy kill.
It's and I was just like, this feels like. I mean, I like how like mischievous he is, but I'm like, he's not really like threatening.
No,
So
he's not.
Lila's in the basement, and then she comes across. I wrote down in all caps, "Whoa, what? The guy from the first movie?
Oh.
He is a weird, sad goat zombie."
What?
Yeah. So now, even though he's dead, he's now walking around as a ghost. And he's got like maggots falling out of his stomach and stuff.
Okay.
He's haunting the house because he has unfinished business because the leprechaun is walking around.
Interesting lore twist that ghosts are real. In this
Yes,
now.
he-
Okay, sure.
Okay, leprechauns are running around, but ghosts?
I mean,
that's crazy.
They've never established afterlife stuff in these movies. You know,
Yeah,
they never
yeah.
established like hauntings or anything like that.
Well, he is around.
Okay, fun. I like it.
And his stomach is all ripped up,
Yep.
and so Lila throws some saran wrap at him so he can wrap up his stomach, so he doesn't like drip shit around anymore. I just wrote down, this is crazy.
I was wondering if he would come back
He did,
because I was like, they got him. Why wouldn't they use it? They kill him off so quickly.
And this is also when it's revealed to me that she is the daughter of Jennifer Aniston's character from the first movie. Was not expecting that. So Ozzy
Did you like point at the screen and be like, whoa?
I was just like, is that the guy? Because he's wearing like makeup, like full like zombie makeup.
Yeah,
so I was like, it kind of looks like him. His eyes and his nose look the same, but I was like, he's like kind of like decaying. Like it's very hard to tell. Ozzy helps her find a map as to where the leprechaun's gold is. But it also lists a bunch of weaknesses for the leprechaun on it as well.
Okay.
Which is good to know.
He's basically like a video game guide.
He
Like,
really is.
Here's your quest now. Deal with this enemy.
So Lila like finds it and she's like, all right, I'm going to go find the gold, I guess. Drunk Meredith, who is driving, by the way.
I said Trump Meredith.
Trump
Meredith Trump.
Meredith Trump.
If her last name was Trump, I'd be like, sure, all right.
I believe it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. That's why she's so shitty.
That's why she's not really helping with anything.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
kinda, like,
Making things worse.
Makes things worse, yeah.
Meredith is driving, even though she's drunk, and she accidentally slips that she was lying about Lila dying. She's like she got what was coming to her, basically, and everyone's like, coming to her? Like, I thought she was dead. And then they're like, oh no, she's not really dead. She's alive. We just left her for dead. And then they're being chased by the leprechaun while they're being like in the car. The leprechaun is chasing them on a drone. He's on Matt's drone,
How
flying
did he
the
get
drone.
it? How is he controlling it? Does he have the little remote?
He has telekinesis,
Oh,
you crazy man.
Well, I mean, telekinesis, like, I feel like he can fly. So the propellers, are they spinning?
Yeah, are spinning.
How does he get that shit working?
He can use the telekinesis on the
So
propellers.
you can use telekinesis to make like circles. It seems so complicated. Why don't he just
That's so much more complicated.
Why wouldn't he just lift the drone with telekinesis and put him on it? Why wouldn't he just pick a stick of wood then?
I don't know, but it's a great effect.
Okay.
He's driving around
I'm
on
sorry,
a drone.
I didn't mean to poo-poo.
This movie rocks.
The drone footage.
He causes them to crash. He causes them to crash the car, and they find Ozzy's body in the middle of the woods. They find keys on Ozzy's body, and then they're going to take the keys and go try to find his truck. But then Meredith, it's revealed. Meredith reveals to everyone that she made a deal with the leprechaun. She says that if she gives up everyone, including Lila, to the leprechaun, then she can go free and go untouched, basically.
Okay.
And the leprechaun's like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to touch you. And she's like, bye, everybody. And she runs off, and then she gets killed by sprinklers.
Wait, what? How did he get killed by sprinklers?
She runs through a bunch of like a field of sprinklers, and then the water hits her, and the water's so hard that it's caused her to bleed, and then the sprinkler heads pop off and smash her in the stomach, in her mouth, and her head.
What?
And then it's the worst. It's the worst death. It's truly like
I don't understand this.
She's running through a field of sprinklers,
And the water is so hard.
and then the sprinkler heads pop out and smash into her.
So is this the leprechaun doing this?
Yes, the leprechaun
with
is
the
doing
telekinesis.
this. Yes.
It's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you anyway.
Yes.
So he's
but
lying.
he said he wasn't gonna touch her.
Okay.
There you go.
I thought it was just like randomly these sprinklers just happen to be really shitty.
No. Matt is going to stay behind to distract the leprechaun while Rose and Katie save Lila. He says, he's like, I'm gonna stay behind. I'm gonna make sure everything goes right. And he says,
A great filmmaker's like the captain of a ship. If Werner Herzog can do it, so can I.
Werner Herzog would be proud.
At this moment, Mike stood up from his chair and went,
I was like, what
"Let's go!"
in the fuck is going on?
This is what Mike would say in the same situation.
And then Katie says,
He'd be like, "You could never hear the sound of this leprechaun. Do not have that
what he
voice."
sounds like.
Let me try again.
Okay,
Hold on,
you can
hold
do
on,
this. You can do this. Remember Mando.
I want to see the baby. Okay, we're good.
There we go. You got it.
This is terrifying. Never ever.
You're like back in Russian. He's German.
Never ever show this footage to anyone. Matty, never ever do it.
That's right. Don't ever show the footage of the leprechaun.
No human should ever hear this.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good reference. So Rose and Katie get lost immediately because they don't know where they're going.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Katie's like, I'll use my stargazing app to find our way back. And I'm like, wait, you have an app on your phone that can like why don't you just use the GPS?
Yeah, that's a weird thing is that like GPS will work even without self-service.
Yeah.
Because the gold positioning sound like.
I'm like, just use it. And I'm like, I don't know if the movie's like making a joke because they're like dumb, so they don't think.
But they don't
don't
characterize
seem
them as dumb except for like Meredith.
So I'm like, this just feels like a plot hole. I don't think it matters. I don't fucking care.
There's a few dumb plot holes.
I don't really care. It's just really funny that like they're like, oh, my stargazing app isn't working. And I'm like, just use the GPS.
I
on your
like
phone.
the stargazing app. I know you can download those because they know you're probably going to a rural area without cell phone service.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, fucking whatever.
So they end up running into Lila anyway, and then they're like, all right, let's all look for the gold. And so they're like looking for the gold. They're trying to find the gold using the map. And then we come back to Matt, and Matt's there. He's using his camera for the drone, and he's trying to like find where the leprechaun is, but he starts like losing where the leprechaun is, and then he loses control of the drone.
And the drone comes, cuts his head off.
And he sees the drone coming towards him, and it's the slowest moving drone. And I'm like, dude, just take 5 steps to the right. Like,
or
what are
drop
you doing?
down.
He just stands there going, ah, as the drone like
Classic
gets
horror movie
closer and
stuff.
closer to him.
Cuts his head off.
Cuts his head off. Yeah. I'm like, you deserve this shit, you idiot.
And the leprechaun's like, that's how he got head finally.
I think he does make a dumb head joke, but not as good as that. That was a good
That's
joke.
the thing. The leprechaun's not up to snuff in this. The leprechaun
really
returns,
isn't.
but he's kind of sleepy. Is what they should have called this.
This is like when a comic like takes like a break for a bit, and then he comes back, and you're just like,
this is canceled tour.
This is Dave Chappelle coming back. Yeah, and it's just like, this isn't funny anymore. And another thing about the transsexuals.
Oh no! I mean, we did establish that he did not like liberals.
Yeah, that's
so
true. That's true.
It kind of makes sense that he would kind of go this way.
I'm getting cancelled.
I can't believe it. No one loves green anymore. I think it's bad. As soon as they see it, they see red.
I really want to keep talking like this, but I'm gonna stop.
Okay, good. I'm just doing accents.
No, me too.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound anything like the leprechauns from the original movie, for the original podcasts. Anyway, so blah 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 blah. They find the pot of gold, and it's mostly empty.
Okay, that makes sense. Right?
Well, no, it doesn't make sense. Why is the pot of gold almost empty?
Someone found it and stole it.
Who stole it? Who found it?
Ooh, let's see. Ozzy.
No. I'm giving you one more guess.
Lila's mom.
No. Rose.
Rose stole it.
Rose found the gold, and she used it to refurbish the house that they're currently in.
Oh, God. That's really funny.
So all of the gold is in a cash for gold place in like Bismarck, or Bushwick, I mean.
Oh my goodness.
So
that's really funny.
They can't get the gold. Like, even if they wanted to, they have to go all the way to the cash for gold place and get it. So there's no way to stop the leprechaun from killing them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So they're like, what the fuck are we gonna do? It's like a half empty like pot of gold. Like, if we give this to the leprechaun, he's gonna know that there's like missing gold. So like, we gotta make a plan. We gotta figure this out. We gotta do this together. We gotta kill this leprechaun. We can't just give the gold back.
So does Lila at any point remember go to the basement? Because like, I guess she already went to the basement.
She already went to the basement.
Got that info, but
yes, exactly. We also learn now. I don't know if you've mentioned this.
So is Rose the whole time being like, I don't know where the fucking gold is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, I was rooting for her. She seemed like my favorite. She was one of my favorites. But
she's all right. Lila, I don't know if you mentioned this. Lila has a necklace.
Oh yeah, the leprechaun touched her necklace at one point. And went She's like, my mom gave it to me to protect me, and that's it.
So why did it hurt the leprechaun?
Because it has a clover in it.
Mm-mm.
Fuck.
Mm-mm.
It's not wrought iron, is it?
It is.
It's wrought iron.
It's iron. It's fool's gold, so it's iron.
Oh.
Which brings back.
Wait, fool's gold is iron?
That's what they say. They say it's iron pyrite apparently. So
I didn't know pyrite was considered iron.
That's what, according to the movie.
All
I don't
right,
know. I mean,
sure. I'm not
this movie is what says it, right?
They have AU on their.
Yeah, exactly.
House, so.
I'm gonna trust them. So they're like, yeah. So apparently, iron is another way of hurting him. So they're like, oh shit, we're gonna use this. So they make a plan. They all get together. They're gonna make a plan. Lila goes. They all get back. They all go back to the house. The leprechaun sees them go in the house. And Lila hands the pot of gold over to the leprechaun. It looks full. Pot of gold looks full.
Okay.
So the leprechaun's like, oh, I'm going to count it to make sure. So he starts counting all the gold out. And he uses his telekinesis to make sure that Lila can't leave.
Okay.
And they're inside the house, in the living room. And he's counting all the gold out. And then he starts pulling out tampons. And what they did was they filled most of the pot up with tampons. And then they just had a layer of gold over the tampons.
So many tampons on them.
I mean,
a lot.
Who knows?
I don't know. Sure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Ethan, what? What do you mean they had a lot of tampons?
I'm just wondering.
Maybe
That's
they didn't. Maybe
in my
they had a
mind.
normal
In
amount
my
of
mind, this
tampons.
is a huge amount of gold that's missing, and they're like, "That's a
There
lot
were
of tampons."
There were 4 women in this cabin. We don't know.
Oh, they go home to do it. I thought they were like out in the field, and they're like, "We're gonna."
No, yeah, they're back in the house.
Oh, okay, that makes
Back
sense.
to the house.
Okay, I thought they were like out in the field, and they're like, "I carry 40 tampons on me at all times." I'm like, that seems like excessive, but I mean, I don't know.
So he's like, "What's going on with these tampons? Why is there tampons in my pot?" And it's a trap. They've trapped him. He's actually circled with a bunch of iron. So he's like in a.
I love them bringing back the iron back.
It's great.
This is it. This is finally. We've
And
been
then-
saying this whole fucking series.
When I saw this, I was like, Ethan is gonna get so excited. About
I am
this.
excited because they've been talking. The iron only came up in the
One
second
movie,
movie.
yeah.
Never bring it up again. And
Yeah.
finally they figured it out. Also weird that like Jennifer Aniston's character knew about the iron thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Maybe
she
this
knew.
is something she figured out later.
Maybe she's like
But-
looking it up on that Wikipedia site or whatever.
Yeah, she watched that weird
Oh,
Flash
no, that was in the
cartoon.
third- that was in the third
In
one.
the third movie.
That
Yeah,
was
she
the
watched
third
that
one.
weird
But
Flash.
they didn't
cartoon.
mention that in the third movie. Anyway, continue.
Either
I
way.
don't want to talk about inconsistencies of the
Leprechaun.
Leprechaun
movies.
franchise series. This movie's fucking breaking me.
Yeah, I know, but this movie's great.
It's fun.
And so she takes the necklace that was her mom's and puts it on the leprechaun, like hurting him so much. He's like in so much pain, and he's like, get it off me! It hurts so much. And it burns him. And then the leprechaun's like, Lila, please, if you let me go, I'll grant you a wish, any wish you want.
Finally, we're getting back to the wishes.
And then she's like, what would you ever give me? And then
I'll bring your mom back.
a voice comes out of his mouth,
Uh-huh.
and it sounds just like Jennifer Aniston.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it her? Or did they AI her?
I looked it up,
Uh huh.
and I'll tell you, it's not AI.
Is it they really got a voice from? They really got a line read from her? Did they get a cameo? Did they go on the cameo site?
They got an impressionist.
Aw.
But
Damn.
it does sound a lot like Jennifer Aniston.
Nice.
And it's like, honey, please, I'll come back to you. Blah 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 blah.
Oh
blah.
man, I feel like Jennifer Aniston's in the room with us right now.
I know.
Thanks,
honey,
Mike.
please.
Oh, I'm Cher.
Oh, I'm Cher.
I'm Cher, not
Sounded
Jennifer
a
Aniston.
little bit like Cher. And then she's like, please don't hurt me.
Now you think about it, I do think they do kind of a very similar voice
They have a
profile.
bit of like
a bit of a yeah. I don't know what that. I don't know how to describe it,
Me
but
neither.
it's connected in some way.
But it sounds like her. And then Lila, it looks like Lila's about to like free the leprechaun, but she's like, nope. And she grabs the necklace and then
She's
fills
like,
the,
I hate my mom. She's just
Yeah,
like,
fuck my mom.
Like drove me mad the whole time.
yeah, she was
basically
mentally ill.
Yeah, I think she had like was basically homeschooled.
Yeah, that sounds
and-
miserable.
Yeah, it's terrible. Worst thing ever. It could happen to anyone. But definitely like held her back
but
from having
imagine
any
being
friends.
like homeschooled
and
every
having
single
because you had to
lesson-
take your kid, you had to like take care of your parent.
and every single lesson was like leprechauns. Watch out
my
for them. Imagine that was your
Imagine
homeschool.
that they put on our podcast, and they're like, you only get to listen to these 6 episodes.
Yeah. To learn about.
Is that how many episodes? I don't fucking count.
I don't know.
I'm just saying 6 out of the top of my head.
Yeah, who knows?
And you get to listen to these episodes
Only these
over and over and over, and you
episodes.
know there's so many more out there. You know there's so many other things to learn in the world. There's so many
No.
other movies you could listen about Scarface or
or Fast and the Furious.
or Fast and Furious. Why am I having trouble
I
thinking
know
of any
you can't
movie you
think of
watch?
any movie. Because
This
you're
is my life now.
homeschooled.
Yeah, this is it. That's the whole reason. The vampire movies. Oh my God, underworld movies. That's it.
Jesus Christ. I'm not even going to help you. List any more movies we watched for the podcast.
Footloose. Do we watch that for the
We did
podcast?
not watch Footloose.
Oh, Dirty
We watched
Dancing. Dirty Dancing. Yeah, I get those confused a lot.
Name any movie we watched for the podcast. Names a movie we've never seen.
I felt like we did. Oh, Planes, Fire, and Rescue.
There you go.
There we go.
Our last
I
episode.
got, Food Fight. I got some. More some.
You got some. Okay.
Breakfast at Tiffany's. Oh, fuck.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Mickey Rooney.
So she fills him up with a liquid. I thought it was gasoline, but it's actually the clover water.
Oh, okay.
So he fills her up with, she fills him up with gasoline, and then
Clover water.
or clover water. Sorry, that's what I'm just reading my notes. And then he explodes all over the living room.
Interesting.
And then, but she says we have to destroy all of his pieces.
Yeah, because I think was it Ozzy who said that we have to destroy all his pieces,
Yeah.
or the Leprechaun? No, I think the Leprechaun was like, you have to kill all my pieces. He.
So they have to make sure that every single piece is gone. So I'm like, just burn the fucking house down.
That's what I was thinking.
But no, they have to they scrub up all the pieces into like a pile. They need to collect them all and then burn the pieces.
Seems less efficient.
I agree.
But also, I
So-
understand they put a lot of effort into this house.
But then they split up.
So who's still alive at this point?
We got Katie,
Uh huh.
of course, our queen, You've got
Lila,
and then you've got
Rose. Is that it? Okay.
That's all we've got.
3 girls.
Okay. So this part is so annoying. So Katie and Lila go to find wood in like firewood. So they can burn the body, and they leave Rose to clean everything. And I'm like, this is like a 2-person job. Like, this leprechaun is all over the fucking
leprechaun
living
is
room.
way harder to clean up, for
exactly.
sure.
But Rose sticks around, and then all the pieces start to turn into tiny little leprechauns, a la like Army of Darkness.
Whoa, that's cool.
And then they sort of like they attack Rose all together, basically, and they kill her. They kill Rose.
I figured you wouldn't survive.
Yeah, Rose dies.
Damn.
Yeah, and Lila and Katie walk in just as Rose dies, so they were like, "Oh shit, this is bad."
Oh my god, she's dead. That's terrible.
And then all the leprechauns start to form into a giant. Like not a giant leprechaun, but like a normal. They all get together to make the leprechaun again.
No, it's a giant leprechaun from Leprechaun
Big
Space.
Leprechaun.
When he got hit by the big ray, got huge. Yeah.
No, it's just a normal sized leprechaun, but they get together to like they're forming back together, right?
I like that. It's like a Megazord.
Exactly. And so then Lila and Kate, they're like, "What are we gonna do? We have to make sure this leprechaun dies." And they're like, "We're gonna use gold because gold conducts energy." So they're gonna use the gold to shock the leprechaun using electricity, and they do that.
Okay.
And then sparks go off.
His weakness, electricity.
And the house lights on fire, which is what they fucking should have done in the first place.
Yep.
And then Lila and Kate escape. They're covered in soot, and then the leprechaun explodes when the house like burns down, and they get covered in green goo.
I felt like they were just like, we got to add another like 15 minutes to this movie.
I felt bad for these actors because at this point I'm like, the movie's over. Like, give them just like let them leave.
Go,
like,
it's fine.
And then they just fucking like splatter them with green like goo, and I'm like, leave them alone.
Finally. It's just like Nickelodeon all over again.
Truly. And so yeah, right. Let's watch a Quiet on Set about the Leprechaun movies.
God, no.
And then Lila sees Ghost Ozzy in the flames, and Lila waves to Ghost Ozzy, and Ghost Ozzy like disappears and goes to heaven.
Okay.
And then some guy with a mustache shows up in a car.
Guy with a mustache shows up in the car.
And on the side of the car, it says like he's from like the college, I guess.
Okay, I still have no idea who he is.
He drives up.
Because they drive by the college, but they didn't stop. They just drive by it.
So I think he might be from the college.
Sure.
And then they're like, what's going? He's like, what's going on? And Lila and Katie are there, and they're covered in goo and shit.
This is just the last scene of bodies.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I think Lila says something stupid, like sometimes the best green footprint is no footprint or something like that. And then they turn around and they walk off away from the mustache guy, and they walk into the woods. And then Katie's like, can we actually get a ride? I don't think I'd rather just get a ride rather than walk through the woods. I don't know where we're going. And Lila's like, yeah, it just felt right to turn around. Yeah, let's get a ride. And they turn back around, they get in the car. And then
did that work for you?
It was funny, I guess. Okay. I don't know. It was funny because Katie said it, and Katie's funny.
Yeah, Katie's got good delivery.
Katie's got great delivery. And then we see the leprechaun's hat left around in the rubble. So possibly the leprechaun can come back, and it fades to black.
Mike's not saying anything.
And then comes right back, and we see the leprechaun, and he's hitchhiking. He's trying to get to the Cash for Gold place. And then this big chicken truck shows up, and he gets in the back of the chicken truck, and he's just sitting there, and he looks really sad.
Honestly, it seems like a pretty good visual.
And then that's the end of the movie.
All right, that's pretty good.
And I'm like, you know what? I loved this movie.
Not a bad movie at all.
I really enjoyed this film.
There's definitely could be better, but you know what? Overall, way better than what we've been dealing with.
This rocked.
Yeah.
I really, really liked it. I thought it was so funny. I liked how it was shot. The only problem was the leprechaun.
The leprechaun was just not up to snuff. Everything else was good. I think some of the writing of his jokes were just not good.
Yeah.
There's issues, but overall, it's still a super enjoyable movie. All the characters seem a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It feels like a good modern horror movie. You know?
And a good way of
simple.
if they wanted to restart it,
go for it. I mean,
not?
But
why would you?
Because the Leprechaun's just not that good, right? That's the thing. That's the glue.
You got to find another actor.
Everything together. The reason they made so many Leprechauns is Warwick Davis did such a good job.
Rocks. Yeah. I looked it up too because I was like, oh, did Warwick Davis not want to was he not approached? And he's just like, I don't want to be in any of these movies.
I mean, fair enough.
I'm like, I don't blame you.
At this point, he's big enough that he could do whatever he wants. Now, right?
Exactly.
I think
we got to stop calling Warwick Davis big. he's popular enough.
He's popular. He he got that Willow TV show.
Yeah,
I
he got the Willow TV
canceled,
show.
but that probably gave him a good amount of funds. So
That's true.
Good
But like, I'm like, whatever. So yeah, I love this movie. Should we rank them?
I think we should rank this because this is the last one.
It's the last one.
So I'm so glad we ended on like a real high note.
Honestly, I was watching the movie. I'm like, I'm so glad we don't have to watch any more.
This is the
Leprechaun
best
movies.
choice you ever did, Mike. Is making us watch another one.
I didn't think it was going to be.
I thought you were just doing this out of spite, which you probably were. But you know what ended up working? Wait, what's that?
What?
Where'd the box go? Where'd the Leprechaun box go? It was sitting there. You put it out because you're like,
I did. Well, I know. I sat it there.
You sat it there.
And then it's gone now.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
What?
I found it.
Oh.
It's really light, Mike.
There's a giant hole in the side of it.
Giant hole in the side. It's like a cartoon. It's the shape of a leprechaun.
It's in the silhouette of a leprechaun.
Oh, no.
The leprechaun returns?
Hello, everyone.
No!
I returned.
No!
Look, I was going to stay in my box, sleeping as soundly as I could.
Yeah.
But there's one issue.
What?
I was sitting here this whole episode, grinding my gears, thinking about. There's one movie you're missing.
No, there's not.
No, we did them all, dude.
We did them all. We looked them up.
We looked them up. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think you need to go to Wikipedia one more time and see if there's a gap at all and what you've been thinking. Because remember how Ethan was talking about WWE?
Yeah, I remember him mentioning that.
He's
But,
just like,
but Ethan has a bad memory for things. Maybe he was just got it wrong.
What is true? That's exactly. Yeah, I mean, I just thought there wasn't like, I was like, whatever, sci-fi, WWE. I think they're owned by the same company or something. That's bullshit.
Oh, is it? Let me Google this.
I think you need to look up and learn about my origin story.
Oh no!
Is there another movie?
Sadly, there does appear to be one more Leprechaun movie that comes out before this one.
And let me tell you, I'm going to be on the whole time.
Oh, no!
You can't stop without me, boy B.
And
you think some fucking Lucky Charms box is going to hold me back? You drank my cum? I'm coming out. I'm like Cameron Diaz in that one movie, Vanilla Sky. You can't get rid of me.
That's right. All right. Well then, Mr. Leprechaun, do you want to stick around for the last?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'll be here for the rest of the time.
All right.
Until you die. Until we end this podcast and you no longer record it because you disrespected me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to disrespect you.
I think you've been doing that a lot.
Yeah, you've been doing that kind of the whole time. You don't really need to do that.
Well,
that's why I spread this rumor that you're just doing a silly voice.
Yeah, exactly. See, clearly, a third person.
It's clearly a third person. He wasn't here the whole time. Why would I do a silly voice just at the very end of the podcast?
Well, guys, if you wanted to listen to our previous Leprechaun episodes, if you're like, who is this Leprechaun? Can I learn more about them? Find them on any podcatching app. And while there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. We will read in the show no matter what it says, even if it is to tell us that we have apparently missed a movie in the series of movies that we were planning on watching. And if you want to get a hold of us, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and on Discord. And you can email us at email@theotherhalfpodcast.com.
Please do. I don't know if we'll survive this. I mean, now Leprechaun's out. I don't have another Lucky Charms box, so I don't know how we're gonna capture them. But you'll never capture me. I'll be here for the end of time.
Good night, everybody.